It's time for the Stoops Review with Toby Rowland, TJ Perry, and Hall of Fame head coach Bob Stoops. The Stoops Review is brought to you every week by Stride Bank. With local roots and national reach, Stride Bank is your go-to partner for all your banking needs. Stride Bank, your trusted financial partner since 1913. And now, with the Stoops Review, here's Toby Rowland, TJ Perry, and Bob Stoops.
We welcome in now the head coach, Bob Stoops. Good morning, Coach.
Good morning, Toby, TJ. Good to be with you this morning. And, yes, I love some Bob Seger. If not Bob, I'd go with Toby Keith. And I don't know about you guys, but my money's on Teddy going after the Black Bear.
I was going to ask you, how would you size up that matchup, Coach? Teddy versus
I
the
could
Black
tell
Bear.
he thought long and hard about it. I tell you what, he didn't go into that. He's not going into that matchup not ready.
Yeah. You got to have a plan, right? You just can't willy-nilly it. And it sounds like Teddy has a plan. So, how many Bob Seger concerts have you been to?
Oh, geez, too many to count. The best, though, was when I hitchhiked from Cincinnati to Cleveland to go see him. And met my buddies who drove over from Youngstown to Cleveland, and I had run out of money, didn't have any way to get to Cleveland, and I went down to the highway and hitchhiked up 71 North all the way up to Cleveland to meet my buddies.
Wow, this is in the book. I remember reading about it.
That's not a short ride either.
No, how many different cars did you get in? Was it one car the whole way, or did you have to?
Oh no, there was 4 or 5. I got chased off the highway in Columbus with two motorcycle police were leading a funeral, and the guy kind of rolled over to me over to the highway and said, "Son, I'm going to be back this way in about 20, 30 minutes. If I see you here, I'm going to take you to jail." So I went. Fortunately, about a quarter mile there was an on-ramp, so I went down the ramp and picked up a ride down there.
Do you you remember the people you got in cars with? Was there any of them sketchy?
Yeah, a few of them I do. One guy said his wife always gets mad at him for picking up hitchhikers, and he said his son had passed away, and his son had hitchhiked all the way from Ohio to Alaska somehow or way up that way, and so he goes, I always pick up hitchhikers, and anyway, so there was a few. I know a van pulled over, and I said, "Nah." I said, "I'll pass on the van. I'm gonna." So
get in the back.
It was interesting.
No,
it was fun. Yeah.
Is that the only time you ever hitchhiked, or is this a common Bob Stoops transportation?
No, that's the only time.
Philosophy.
That's. But it was uneventful. It was good, and. It normally would take you probably 4 or 4.5 hours in a car, and that took me about, I bet it was 6.5 or 7.
TJ, can you imagine, if the people were still alive and remembered once Bob became the head coach at Oklahoma?
He was headed to the concert, yeah.
I picked up the future head coach, Hall of Fame head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, and took him to Cleveland for a concert. Well, I bet that was the sweetest of the Bob Seger concerts you went to, and you risked life and death to get there.
It was a good one. You don't get many bad ones with Bob Seger, that's for sure.
59-14 Saturday. What'd you think, Coach?
Yeah, I loved it. I thought it's just what we needed, regardless of who you're playing. You just to execute well, to play well, to gain some confidence, to get that feel. That feel of success going. All of it I thought was really good. I thought, Jackson looked good. I'm sure even for Joe John, getting in the rhythm of calling plays and executing the way we were, getting some run game going. Javante Barnes was excellent again. So all of it together, defense played really well other than, gave up that first drive, but then they settled in. So, again, I think it's just what we needed.
It was Maine, but it does seem like the last couple of weeks the offense has looked smoother, has operated better. This is no condemnation on Coach Luttrell, but it does seem like the change has helped. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, and again, that's for whatever reason, just, there's been little more rhythm and a little more execution. All of that together. And again, I'm with you. It isn't just Seth at all. Sometimes you just need to change for change. And, and so far right now it's, it has been a little bit improved.
Well, I don't know what got into Javonte the last couple of weeks. He's had a good year, but he's looked like, to me, a different back the last couple of weeks with running through tackles, breaking tackles. He was fantastic.
Yeah, the last couple games there has been more of that, and for whatever reason, again, and it's part of its competition, I get it, but still, it's good to see, a guy that's starting to, and again, it'll, the confidence in playing that way will build, hopefully.
We did not have a rain delay Saturday, Coach. Thankfully, they moved up the game. It turns out it was probably a smart decision because it got nasty around here later on.
Really,
but you
good
had
decision.
some. Yeah, you did have some rain delays in your tenure. Most famously, the Samaje Perine game. But that's not the only one. Do you remember any good rain delay stories or how you handled your team in those situations or anything?
No, I could remember a couple that weren't so good here at home. We lost to Texas Tech one time here. Ohio State, a little bit of one there. So I don't know that we did handle them as well as we should have, to be honest. But I thought it was really smart with, to move our game up when you're able to avoid that, to avoid the delays, avoid, fans being out in the horrible weather. Even traveling in it, I think we were finished, in time for everyone to get to a safe place, later Saturday. So it was a really good decision.
How much have you seen? Oh, by the way, we're talking to Bob Stoops. Our conversations on the Stoops Review brought to you every week by Stride Bank. How much of Missouri have you seen this week or this year, Coach? What do you think about the test in front of them this Saturday?
Well, it doesn't seem that they've been as strong as everybody predicted the beginning of the year. They're 6-2, and I haven't seen them. I'll watch them here this week on my, as you do on Catapult, my app. But anyway, it doesn't seem they've been quite as strong as maybe they thought they were going to be. It seems like their defense, particularly their defensive front, has really played well. And, and they've had a couple of quarterbacks, right, between Cook and Pine. And it seems like they want to go with Cook. And he does a nice job. Theo Weiss is there as a receiver, a big target. So, so hopefully defense can continue to play really well and offense can do enough, to make some big plays. Maybe Javonte's feeling it now, and J.J. Hester, again, had some big plays. Get a big play or two and get that run game going.
Yeah, Luther Burden, big-time receiver for them. One of my favorite games of the Bob Stoops era was when you guys socked it to Chase Daniel in the Big 12 championship game. 07, I believe.
Yes.
They come in number one, and you guys kind of tore them apart that day. You had good success against Missouri, to say the least, as you did a lot of teams in the Big 12.
Yeah, but that was a fun one, being that they were number one in the country, and there was a lot on the line. We're both playing for the Big 12 championship, and I remember, just Sam Bradford being incredible in that game. Curtis Lofton defensively had a huge game.
Yeah,
but it was really rewarding, just because of the championship implications, and then to play so well. I don't know what we beat them by, 21, 28, something like that.
38-17, if I remember. I think Curtis had a scoop and score in that game early on. You're piling on. So, yeah, that was is that San Antonio, Coach, or Houston? You were down in Texas for that one.
Hey, San Antonio.
Yeah, that was fun. Well, what a weird year across college football. I guess it's weird. Maybe this is normal. Doesn't feel normal. There's 5 remaining undefeated teams in the top 25, and they're Oregon, Miami, Indiana, BYU, and Army. Not what anybody predicted when the season started. Who's the best team in the nation, Coach? Who do you think's the best?
Well, just watching, to me right now, Oregon is. They've been playing the most consistent. On both sides of the ball, they're really good. There isn't like one side got to carry the other. And Dylan, the quarterback, Dylan Gabriel's playing really well. To me, they look the most solid.
That was an impressive win for Ohio State, too, on Saturday. I know they've got a loss, but to go to Happy Valley and win, looks like they're the real deal. They're in the hunt for this thing again.
Yeah, definitely, because Penn State has played well. And, but Ohio State, they're going to be in it. You can bet, they're going to be hard to deal with, too, here down the stretch.
TJ and Coach, is Dylan Gabriel going to win the Heisman? I mean, it looks like it's Gabriel, Cam Ward at Miami, and the Genty kid from Boise State. Are those the three left in contention?
That's probably
here?
the three. I would lean Cam Ward right now over Dylan, but I mean, there's still enough football that he's right there in the conversation. But Cam Ward has been pretty amazing this year in what he's done with Miami, so that'd be the way I'd lean right now.
What do you think, Coach?
Yeah, it's going to be tight, but these, to me, these games down the stretch are the ones that really matter. So, that one of them or two of them may be able to separate and really show what they can do in these really important games down the stretch. And I'm guessing Travis Hunter, has he just been hurt? Is that why he'd be out of it?
No, I think he's in it. You're right. I should mention him. I kind of discounted Colorado because I figured they would rack up some losses, but they're in the thick of the Big 12 race, so you're right, Coach.
Well, and, it's not like he plays a little bit both ways. That guy's playing 100 and some, snaps a game. That's amazing. And not just playing well on both sides of the ball.
What do you think of Dion?
I don't really know him, so you gotta, I've met him once a long, long time ago at a practice, but you gotta give it to him. I mean, the guy's been an incredible, superstar athlete through the years, and he's worked hard for everything he has, and from all accounts, I love the different Christian messages he puts out quite a bit. So, I'm not much to judge people I don't really know, So, anyway, he's doing a really good job here this year, definitely.
That's all we do in sports radio, Coach, is judge people that we don't know. So that's probably a good approach for you. One of the things that was nice to see Saturday was all the youngsters, you mentioned this, freshmen and otherwise that got a chance to play. When you look offensively, defensively at some of the kids, who excites you next year or the year after about this freshman class, redshirt freshman that you think could be a big-time player for the Sooners?
Oh man, that's hard. Definitely our running back, our freshman running back,
Tatum.
Taylor Tatum.
Xavier Robinson looked good late on Saturday.
Exactly.
Too.
Yeah. So it's hard to, but I've seen enough of Taylor Tatum to really be excited about what he can do. I think in the future too. So, but anyway. It's just haven't seen a lot of those really young guys. Jordan Jacobs, right? Or Jacob?
Yeah, Jacob Jordan. Yep.
Jacob Jordan. I keep getting them mixed up, but I like what he's doing. He's been fun to watch as a young guy. Anyway, and
Michael Boganowski seems like a Bob Stoops type player.
Boganowski, absolutely. That sounds like he's playing at Wisconsin, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does sound like a Wisconsin name. Boganowski.
There's been a few Boganowskis up that way, but anyway, we'll see. And Michael Hawkins, I'm just still, not going to ever give up on that young guy and what he's going to be able to do too.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, we'll take a break. Top of the hour here. We'll take some questions for Coach from y'all out there. Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line, 405-651-3439. We got Porter Moser coming up live at 8:25 this morning. They open the season tonight in the Lloyd Noble Center. We'll be back.
The Stoops Review, presented by Stride Bank, is brought to you in part by Fowler Automotive. Fowler Automotive is proud to be part of your community, where our passion and values lie far beyond the showroom.
Just thinking here during this break, Coach, let's see, J.C. Watts, Jack Mildren, Steve Largent, Bud Wilkinson, Tom Osborne, Tommy Tuberville. Yeah, we got Election Day tomorrow.
Politicians, yep.
Yeah, a lot of football players, coaches who have gone into politics. We got Election Day tomorrow. What do you think, Coach? You have any desire to run for office in your future here?
Oh no! If I was going to do that, I'd have stayed coaching. Heck with that. No, but I sure appreciate anyone who does. To go out and try and make the world a better place. Good for them. And yeah, I kind of watch Tommy Tuberville now here and there. I see him on TV at certain things. So anyway, those guys, all J.C. Watts was really special around here, as everybody knows. So, yeah, good for them to be able to give back to the community the way they do.
All right, so you are officially not running for office anytime soon, folks. We can put that to rest. All right, TJ, what are the listeners asking out there for Coach Stoops today on the Knippelmeyer Chevrolet text line?
This one actually came in while Bob was telling the story of hitchhiking. He says, I'm on 71 hearing Bob Stoops talk about hitchhiking on the highway I'm currently on right now. This is an odd experience. So he was actually
71 north. 71 goes right all the way Cincinnati, all the way up into Cleveland.
It's an
easy hitchhike. It's an easy ride.
Toby, have you ever hitchhiked in your life?
No. I'm trying to remember. I ran out of gas one time. I guess I have. I ran out of gas one time, and a guy gave me a ride a couple of miles to the gas station. So I guess that's hitchhiking. But I didn't set out, like, I'm sure Coach Stoops had a stick with a pouch on the end of it with all the supplies in it.
I'm sure he did. Yeah.
I didn't mean to be hitchhiking, but I ended up having to get a ride.
I wrapped paper around a tennis racket and put 71N on it, 71 North. Stuck it out. And I had a little bag. Yeah.
You thought this out.
Oh, well, you gotta be able to get picked up. Then they know you're serious about it, when you got that tennis racket out there.
That's right.
This texter wants to know if Coach's Fratboro Mark, is Coach familiar at all with the Indiana staff, and do you think Indiana can sustain this as a program going forward with the success they've had this year?
I really don't know anyone on the Indiana staff very well at all, but the guy has won, like he said. All I do is win. Google me. So good. You got to give it to him. He's backed it up big time. So yeah, I do believe it's sustainable. I don't know about undefeated all the time, but they're as good as and well as they have played all year. That's not a fluke. They know what they're doing for sure, and I bet they're going to continue to win.
Kurt Signetti, is there anything to it's hard to win basketball games at a football school, or it's hard to win football games at a basketball school thing? Because Indiana's, historically certainly a basketball powerhouse.
I don't believe that's the case. That's true. I think it's always an excuse. Billy Donovan destroyed that, that whole, mindset when he won 2 national championships in 3 years, I think it was, at Florida, who was traditionally known as a football school, right?
Yeah.
So I don't think that needs to be the case.
That it's interesting to me when it goes the other way, Coach, because you think of like your brother, like Kentucky is one of the blue bloods in basketball, Indiana, North Carolina, where Mac is right now. for the basketball schools. I think they're basketball schools, but the predominant successes happen there. It does seem like the headwinds have been a little bit tougher for the football guys.
Well, it could be, but again, I think those kind of schools they've got money, and if you've got money, you can build a program. And
hey man, Gino got Kansas to the Orange Bowl, didn't he?
Exactly. But overall, it's a little bit harder. But I still think everybody wants to have that football engine going. That.
Sure.
That's what makes the real money.
Yeah. What else you got, Teach?
Two-parter here. Says, question for Coach. Does he think Barnes might be getting it clicking like Sawchuck last season? And I know it was Maine, but does Coach see the good of the game being a momentum going forward, as it seemed it was exactly what we wanted offensively this weekend?
I do think it helps. And I do feel like Javonte Barnes, regardless of who it was against, is starting to get a better feel and confidence and what he's able to do, and I think it helps everybody. And again, I get it was Maine. I know who we played, but I think anything positive helps. When you've been struggling some, so I think it can give us a boost definitely coming into this game.
What do you think about the anthracite uniforms, Coach?
Hard to read the numbers.
Yeah.
But as you know, from way up there. But
you had some compassion on me up there in the booth, didn't you, on Saturday?
Yeah,
trying to figure out who had the ball.
I like them. They look good. Whatever the players they like them. That's all that matters.
That's become a bigger and bigger deal with the players the last, I don't know, you could probably tell me 10, 15 years or so.
Yeah, it was a deal even when I was still coaching. They like to do that once in a while, and I kind of like the more traditional, old school going back to uniforms that we've worn back in the day.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think the anthracites look cool, TJ, but they are really hard to see.
They are hard to see the numbers. There's no doubt about that, but they've got a good look to them. I don't mind the anthracite.
I went down and talked to the Maine broadcast team before the game, and the teams had not come out on the field yet. And this is, by far the highest radio booth the Maine broadcast team has ever been in their life. You can imagine, TJ. So they're way far from the field compared to where they usually are. And I said, I got bad news for you. We're wearing these anthracite unis today, and it's really hard to see the numbers. I hope you brought your binoculars. And they said, no, we never have had to have binoculars anywhere. So we took our binoculars, or some of our binoculars, and let them use them during the game, because I'm just warning you right now, this is going to be a tough day for you. So it is hard to see.
Ozzy and the other dogs not fans of the anthracite.
Yeah,
I don't think.
that's right.
That's right.
It's been a rough morning for my dogs. Coach, we spent part of the 6 o'clock hour in the tornado shelter here this morning, so been a rough morning.
Did you really? They're saying from 10 to 2 around here to look out, so everybody be safe out there.
That's right.
CJ in Midwest City just says thanks to Coach here. He's got a story. He says, I was at my first OU game with my dad. It was Idaho State. It rained the entire game. We were soaked. And Coach came up to us and said, hey, thanks for sticking around. So that was CJ in Midwest City. So
how about that?
Got a great memory for him.
How about that?
Sooner Coach Wetel just wants more Coach in the booth. He says he wants him to stay longer in the booth here. So
hey, he stuck around for an extra segment this week because Coach said that his booth was boring this week, right, Coach?
I could do a little longer stretches.
You going to Missouri? You're not going to Missouri.
No.
Right? No. Okay. All right. Well, we get him for Alabama, Teach. We'll get Coach for the Alabama game.
Yeah.
This texter is asking, Coach explained how he got to the concert. Did he have a ride back, or did he have to hitchhike all the way back home too? So.
Oh no, all my buddies. I met all my buddies from Youngstown were there for one. One of my best buddies lived in Cleveland, and we met at his house, and all my buddies came over from Youngstown, and after the concert, I went home with them.
Had it all planned out.
How many buddies?
Said, you got to They said they got a ticket for me. All you got to do is get there. And I said, I'm on my way.
I got a tennis racket. I'll be there in 6 hours. How many buddies from the Youngstown days do you still keep in touch with, Coach?
Oh, all of them. All of them. I got a lot of neighborhood buddies that I still am very close with and see whenever I'm home, as well as school buddies, that I graduated with, or we were one of those schools it wasn't just guys you graduated with, guys that are older, younger. We got a tight-knit group that from Cardinal Mooney High School.
Last one here says, what did Coach think of the young offensive lineman? That's from Big O.
Yeah, it seemed to be good. I'll have to go back and kind of watch watch it again to just to single out who's doing what. But it seemed like they did well. To put up the production we did and to run the ball the way we did. That you have to be, running back doesn't do it himself. So all of it they seemed to do a nice job from what I could tell.
What are the keys to beating Missouri on Saturday, Coach?
Oh, a lot of, like always, in my opinion, the turnover margin, third downs, who could be, on the plus side of those. And then, and if we could continue to run the football and get a big player or two, defense keep playing the way they've been. And special teams, I think special teams, we've done a nice job, and our kicker's really doing a good job. Those are always important, but the usuals, the turnover margin, the third down conversions, being on the good side of that, either side of the ball, and get some run game going.
I love it, Coach. Great stuff today. We appreciate talking to you as always, and we'll visit with you next Monday. Looking forward to hearing you hop on with Teddy and Tyler Thursday.
All right, Toby, TJ, thank you. Say hi to Porter Moser for me. That's
Will
the
do.
guy.
He's the man. Thank you, Coach. All right, Bob Stoops, brought to us every week, TJ, by Stride Bank. And who else do we need to give some love to here with Coach?
Fowler Automotive Group. You're familiar with Fowler Automotive Group, aren't you?
I love Fowler. I got to go by Fowler today. Got to pick up my Wagoneer that Chris Plank ruined for me when he busted the tire on the way back from Oxford. No, I'm kidding. He didn't do it.
Now they're giving you the same car, right? You're not getting
yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah, they just they had to they just put the I didn't know this, but the sensor that goes onto your tires to tell you how aired up they are and stuff.
Yes.
Is not on the spare. So
I found that out recently too. Yeah.
So you got to I don't know if they put a new tire back on or if they just reattach the sensor. They had to do something there just to make the computer work right again. So that's what they're doing.
Yeah, Fowler Automotive Group and Riverwind Casino, as well as Stride Bank, stridebank.com if you would like to visit them.